Chinese President Xi Jinping traveled to Moscow today to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. This is their first face-to-face meeting since the war in Ukraine began. Was this meeting between the dear friends to put the rest of the world on notice? The two powers stand together against the West. Here to discuss, author of The Coming Collapse of China and the Great U.S.-China Tech War, Gordon Chang. Okay, Gordon, give us your take on whether this is a big move by China to assert itself as the world's superpower.
It certainly is, Bob, because China believes that the United States is in terminal decline and that it can now do anything that it wants. And unfortunately, the Biden administration has been opening the door. We opened the door in Saudi Arabia by criticizing the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman. And so MBS, as he's called, just basically shut the door on Biden. And really what we've got right now is a China that is resurgent. And the United States does not want to acknowledge what's happening. If we did, we could deal with it. Biden does not.
And Gordon, China has called for a ceasefire and peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. And that, of course, has been praised by Moscow, but not by Kyiv, because it would keep Russian troops specifically in occupied territory. What do you think could actually lead to some sort of peace talks? It seems that China wouldn't possibly be able to be involved in that.
Right. There won't be peace talks, Katrina, until both sides want to talk. And right now, neither side believes it is in a position to talk. They both want to fight. And as you point out, the United States is not in favor of the ceasefire, and we shouldn't be, because that would leave Russia in control of Ukrainian territory. And also right now, there's a general feeling that Ukraine has the general advantage on the battlefield. That advantage may not last very long, but the point is, a ceasefire helps Russia in so many different ways. And that's why China's proposing it, because China is all in on backing Putin. And we've got to acknowledge that.
If the war keeps going, who does better over the long term, and how does it affect us, the United States?
That really depends on whether the U.S. is going to supply the weapons that Ukraine needs. Right now, President Biden just wants to manage the conflict. And that means this conflict goes on forever. But if we actually decide that Ukraine should win it, then the West is going to do very well. China's going to do very poorly. And this really is the fate of Taiwan, because if Russia prevails in Ukraine, you can bet the Chinese are going to move on Taiwan, Japan, the Philippines, India, you name it, or even against the United States. Wow. And so right now, this is a test. This is a proxy war for superpowers. And we better win this, because if we don't, we're going to be fighting everywhere around the world all at once.
Gordon Chang, quickly before we let you go, do you think there's any chance that the United States wouldn't win this?
There's a big chance the United States won't win it. It's a question that Biden, I think, is applying all the wrong theories to what's going on here. And he's not using U.S. resources to win it. He's there just as they've done in the past, just trying to manage the situation.
All right, Gordon Chang, great to have your insight with us. Your insights, as always. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Katrina, and thanks, Bob.